This matter is about a prosecution that has been mounted by the Attorney General, where he is alleging that Mr. Ato Forson, the Honorable Minority Leader, and others have complicity with the ambulance purchase and some LCs, and fundamentally charging them for causing financial loss to the state and other offenses, I guess. So the public interest level is the ambulances. The ambulances were talked about for many, many years, a long time. Eventually, they were delivered, but the public interest is cemented by the fact that this is a transaction over ambulances that were to be distributed to Ghanaian public and now has been distributed to each constituency. We are mindful of the fact that the trial is still proceeding, and therefore we are unable to make comments that are prejudicial to the outcome of the trial, that are prejudicial to the decisions that the judge may make. We are not lawyers in the matter, and therefore we are not advocating for any position as we do so now. What we are going to do is to share with viewers exactly as has happened in the court, without any commentary about it, without any connotation, and without suggesting any inclinations. We will not take text messages and public comments on this segment of the program as a result of the fact that the matter is still before the High Court judge. So we respect that. We respect the institutions of state. But we don't want lawyers to come after the matter and come and tell us things that are untrue. And so we are going to share with the general public from now on everything that has been happening in the court, for the general public to look at it and make your decision in your head as we all wait for the ultimate decision of the trial judge. With that, welcome aboard. Okay, so cross-examination of Honorable Seth Terkper by Honorable Godfred Dame. This is how it starts. It's a bit long, so maybe I'll take a break and we take water at some point and we come back. But let's deal with it. All right. How are you? He says. Seth Terkper says, I'm doing well. Godfred Dame says, you were responsible. You were responsible for many authorizations of payment out of the consolidated fund? It's a question. The Honorable Seth Terkper answers the question. Is that not where I should be going? Okay, he continues by saying, such approvals for withdrawals from the consolidated funds must be evidenced by some records. This is the Attorney General asking him that you are responsible for approvals. Such approvals must have record. The Honorable Seth Terkper says, all payments out of the consolidated funds must come with some form of verification and validation from the source, so to that extent, yes, he's answering the question, yes, that these things come with approval. Then Godfred Dame says, the approval you give for withdrawal to be made from the consolidated fund is backed by record because it is public funds. Is that not correct? Honorable Seth Terkper says, yes, it is correct. It is a statutory provision that all payments must be backed by records. Attorney General says, I am talking about your approval. It must be backed by record. The Honorable Seth Terkper said, yes, it must be backed by record. Okay. Now, let me give you a bit of a background, viewers. Just a bit of a background. So the background is that Mr. Ato Forson, who is on trial, the minority leader, has suggested to the court that he received authorization from Honorable Seth Terkper, his boss at the time, the minister responsible for finance. This is what he has told the court, that he received approval, some form of approval, or some form of authorization from his boss. So his boss is come to the court as a witness for Ato Forson. He's a defense witness. He's not a witness for the prosecution. He's a witness for the defense. So he has come to court to say to the court that, yes, I did an authorization for case Ato Forson. And naturally, as the court's rules work, the Attorney General who is prosecuting will have the opportunity to cross-examine the Honorable Seth Terkper, to ask him questions about what Honorable Seth Terkper has already said. So this conversation is about the Honorable Terkper telling the court that I gave authorization to case Ato Forson, and the Attorney General is cross-examining him to come to the conclusion and find some solution and understand something, but ultimately the court will make the decision. So the Attorney General is trying to urge on the court that he did not give approval. The Honorable Seth Terkper says, I gave approval. The court will make their decision. So this is the questions and answers that I'm sharing with you now. Okay. He says, I am talking about your approval. It must be backed by record. Seth Terkper says, yes, it must be backed by record. Next page. He says, you did not exhibit any record showing the approval you have made before this court, which is to say the approval for the purchase of the ambulance. Then Dr. Basit Bamba comes in. So when you see Dr. Bamba here, it's an objection he raised on that day. He comes in and says, my lady, We object to this question on the grounds that the witness did not use the word approval. Then the judge, that's why we write by court. The judge says the objection is overruled. Okay, let's move on. Godfred Dame continues. He says, you did not exhibit any record showing the approval you have made before this court. Honorable Seth Terkper says the records before the court shows clearly that the attachments to the payments came from the Ministry of Health to the Bank of Ghana, BOG. Godfred Dame said, you were invited to ioko, which investigated this matter in 2018. Is that not correct? Honorable Seth Terkper said, yes, I was. Godfred Dame continues, says, you were questioned by ioko on all you knew on the transaction. Is that not correct? Honorable Terkper said, yes, I was. Then Godfred Dame continues, you did not indicate to ioko that you gave approval for the payment in question. Did you? Seth Terkper says, I stated clearly in that statement that I had left office and I could not make any statement out of memory. So I asked them to bring me documents from the Ministry of Finance to refresh my memory, but I was not invited again. Godfred Dame says, I am talking about questions by ioko. You did not indicate to ioko that you gave approval for the payment in question. Okay? The Terkper says, I could not have because, as I stated, I had left office and therefore could not rely on my memory to make statements which was of legal consequence. Godfred Dame says, following the questioning by ioko, they gave you a statement form to take home to write about all you knew about the matter. Seth Terkper says, that is correct, but that does not change the position because I do not keep official documents at home, and especially since I had left office. Godfred Dame says, in your statement, which is Exhibit 5, for Honorable Ato Forson, you did not mention anything about authorization for the payment in question. Seth Terkper says, I did not because I did not have the information. Seth Terkper said, I did not because I did not have the information. Attorney General says, at the time you were questioned by ioko and at the time you gave your statement to ioko, you had left office only 1 year. Is that not correct? Seth Terkper said, it could be 1 year, but after receiving the volume of documents which I had to peruse, I feel justified that I did not proceed to give a longer statement from my memory. Godfred Dame comes back. By 2018, when you were writing this statement to ioko, the matters were fresher in your mind than in 2023, as you appear before this court. Is that not correct? The Honorable Seth Terkper says, the issues that were fresh in my mind were what I put in my statement. Godfred Dame says, since 2018, which document had you seen that shows the payment made by Honorable Ato Forson? Then the finance minister comes back and says, may I emphasize that I did not authorize payment. I authorized the establishment of an LC. The distinction is very important. Payment, as I stated earlier, is the responsibility of the sector minister. It is for this reason that the public financial management assigns responsibility to specific spending officers. Godfred Dame comes back. The ambulances in question were paid for through the establishment of letters of credit, the LC as they call it. Is that not so? Is asking the Honorable Seth Terkper. Honorable Terkper said, yes, they are. Godfred Dame says, have you seen any document since 2018 by which you authorized the establishment of the letters of credit in question? Then the Honorable Finance Minister says, I have already stated before the court that I have seen the document by which I requested the establishment of the LC. Godfred Dame says, take a look at the exhibit file and show the court the exhibit you are talking about. Exhibit just means a document, viewers. Exhibit just means a document. So when you hear exhibit, it's a document. It's not, let's not get confused about that. Exhibit is a document, but it's not a plain sheet like this. There are stuff written on it. Okay, let's move on. Take a look at the exhibit file and show the court the exhibit you are talking about. Seth Terkper, The documents that support every action that we took were the opinion of the Attorney General, cautioning us against financial loss to the state, a letter to the Ministry of Finance with the very attachment of the very caution that was sent to the Minister of Health, and the third and last one is the opinion of the Legal Division of the Ministry of Finance, which is based on my referral for a second opinion after the Attorney General's advice. Okay. Take a look at Exhibit 7 for Honorable Ato Forson. Was dated 9th May 2014, where in Exhibit 7, 7A, and Exhibit 8, do they show approval by you for the establishment of the LC in question? Let me take this question again. Godfred Dame is asking, take a look at Exhibit 7, that's a document, for Honorable Ato Forson. It was dated 9th May 2014. Where in Exhibit 7, that document, 7A, another document, and Exhibit 8, a third document, do they show approval by you for the establishment of the LC in question? Seth Terkper says, this is where the third document I referred to becomes important, because I conveyed a meeting. Exhibit 7 is merely forwarding the document the AG himself had forwarded to me. And Exhibit 8 follows my referral of the documents from the AG to the Legal and Debt Management Division of the Ministry, because we were then under an IMF program, and it was important that I satisfy myself that we do not exceed the debt limit. So Exhibit 8 is the outcome of that referral that I made, reiterating the number of documents the Legal Division, the Debt Management Division, and other divisions of the ministry researched in coming to their conclusion. It came up with two major recommendations, and according to the witness is reading now, viewers. That's why I write witness reads. Is reading now. From this point on, we had a meeting, and it came up with a decision. The meeting was between myself, the Honorable Ato Forson, the Chief Director of the Ministry of Finance, and the three heads of department. That is the legal, the debt management, because I wanted to be convinced that my technical officers will agree with the decision. Okay. Godfred Dame continues. Neither your name nor signature is in any of these exhibits. That is Exhibit 7, 7A, and 8. The minister says, I did not have my signature, but it was addressed to me. Dame said, you did not minute or issue any instructions on any of these exhibits. That's a 7, that's exhibits is document, viewers. So document 7, 7A, and 8, the Attorney General is asking or suggesting that the Honorable Minister did not issue any instruction on any of these. The Seth Terkper comes in. The various minutes in particular, Exhibit 7, are very faint. This is the Honorable Seth Terkper talking. These are records before the court. I requested for the Ministry of Finance version of this document, but I did not receive it. But in the absence of my minute, it is clear from the stamp that it was received by my office before it went out to the other offices. Okay. The Attorney General comes back. Please look at document 8 for Honorable Ato Forson, which you have indicated lists some documents that the legal department relied on in preparing this memo. And I will refer you to paragraph 9 of the memo. Tell the court which documents came from you that the legal department relied on.